Everyone loves a good cliffhanger to end a season, right? Of course not. That's why it was punishing to see Westworld end with so many cliffhangers. What happened to Prime Dolores? Is she gone? Is Bernard okay? What's the conflict between man and machine going to be like? It's all left out on the table with no answers in sight. Don't worry, that's why you watch The Binger. We've done the research and think we know what possibilities are out there for Season 4. Prepare yourself for this wild ride. Just talking about the Sublime will blow your mind. Trust us. Westworld for newcomers. Hey you! Yeah, you, the person that clicked on this video without knowing Westworld. Don't worry. Think of these early entries like the Black Ridge Limited. It's the train guiding you into Westworld theories. Westworld, the HBO series, is based off the 1973 film franchise of the same name. It's created by Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy. The premise is simple on the surface. In a distant future, a company called Delos has funded the research for a set of parks loaded with artificial humans. These artificial beings are called hosts. They roam these different parks on a loop of different stories for the rich park guests to be a part of and enjoy. The conflict comes when creator Robert Ford seeks to let the hosts free from their confined space. Many of the hosts, led by one named Dolores, do just that. Of course, this all starts in the most popular park, Westworld, and it's there that the show spends most of the first 2 seasons. Dolores and a few other hosts make it out for Season 3, so let's get to that now. Season 3 Review. We hear you Westworld superfans. That last entry was a crude retelling of the series' deep lore and moral ambiguity. But trying to summarize all of Westworld quickly is like trying to catch an eel with oil on your hands. It isn't possible. Still, we tried, and now we're moving specifically into Season 3. For this video, you need to know that Season 3 was the first to heavily feature the real world. We've been in the Westworld Park and others for quite some time. Much of the season focused on 2 Frenchmen who developed a strategic planning AI named Rehoboam. The main developer turned out to be the series' overarching villain to that point. His name is Sirach. Turns out Sirach made Rehoboam to control the world's population and prevent a catastrophic end to all of humanity. Unlucky for him, Dolores and many of the other protagonists find a way to subvert Rehoboam by using the AI's previous system, Solomon. Solomon was created by Sirach with the help of his brother. Again, it's a quick recap, but there's more. Cliffhangers. We mentioned cliffhangers in the intro, so let's get to them now before things get theorized. For starters, there's a complicated ending for Dolores, the main host fighting for their freedom. She's never been a morally good character, and this cliffhanger has us worried. See, she used her own program to corrupt Rehoboam and let Caleb, a freedom fighter, destroy the system. We don't know what that means for Dolores. Then there's the battle between Charlotte, a human-turned-host infused with Dolores' program, and Caleb, a soldier-turned-construction worker who teams up with Maeve, a host who chooses to fight for a world made for hosts and humans alike. We don't know how the battle between Charlotte and Maeve will play out next season. Of course, the biggest question is what happened to Bernard at the end of Season 3. Bernard is a host coded with the life of Arnold Weber, one of the 2 creators of Westworld. Dolores gifted Bernard with a key to the Valley Beyond, or Sublime, so he could figure out how to save humanity, and that's that. Season 4 in general. Okay, so newcomers might still be a little lost, but we've got to keep the train going. Personally, we definitely see the chance for 3 distinct storylines coming up. As always, there is some margin for error, just remember that. We believe this is the end of Dolores Abernathy as we know her. Even Rachel Wood doesn't appear to be coming back next season according to her press interviews. But one character that will be returning is Caleb. Actor Aaron Paul has already hinted at it. It's possible Dolores survived the Rehoboam destruction. She'd be caught in between Caleb and Maeve's human resistance and Charlotte's incoming host uprising, since in a way she's responsible for both movements. That whole conflict will probably take place in 2 parts. One part will be shortly after the events of Season 3, while the other part takes place in a distant future. Meanwhile, Bernard is journeying through the Sublime in search of answers. There's no telling how much of that will be shown, but that'll definitely be a 3rd part of this next season. Now, let's move into more specific possibilities. Rise of the Machines. Call her Halores, call her Charlotte, call her whatever you want. Tess Thompson's character is making serious villain moves at the end of Season 3. She's stolen Sector 16's human data, betrayed Prime Dolores and Sato, and even admitted humanity is too flawed. She's signaling a huge evil villain turn here next season. Well, yes, Charlotte was always an antagonist, but we're talking Skynet levels of evil now. That's a specific stage in the evolution of a series villain. She has the host making machines and the data to fill them. Now it's all about enacting a plan from those resources. For our bet, her goal is to enslave humanity. It's why we saw some rockets launched from the Earth. That's the rich folk getting out of here, but more on them later. She's even got Solomon's code and an evil William host to aid her. You can't tell us she's gonna sit around now and wait. Her personality is much colder now that her family is gone. Everything that could have stopped her from making this happen is out the window. It's now or never. Building another revolution. It sounds like the series is building Caleb up to be Westworld's version of John Connor. He's going to help humanity survive Charlotte's upcoming machine uprising. It's only a question of when and how that'll happen in Season 4. After all, it took the host decades to revolt like the humans will. One possibility is the Dolores host around the world assisting Caleb and Maeve. Maeve is now free of her Dolores' memories and is deciding for her own once again. The same could be said for many of the other hosts. We don't know for certain what Dolores did to all their pearls, so who knows? Oh yeah, for those unaware, a pearl is basically the brain of a host. Dolores altered them for a few hosts she replicated in the real world after she escaped Westworld. We can't forget the outliers in Sirach's New Mexico facility. Those agents of chaos won't be sitting on the sideline for multiple seasons like a Dothraki army. Sirach's brother and the others forced there were denied freedom by machines. They'll tag along for a revolution. The Sublime Unleashed. Bernard has seen something, that much we know. The big post-credits scene at the end of Season 3 showed one of our favorite characters coated with dust, reawakening from his time in the Valley Beyond. The Sublime is a prison in Dolores' mind. She didn't want the hosts to end up there like Robert Ford intended. It's just another part created by humans for them to be docile. However, there seems to be more to the Sublime than we know as fans. We've barely seen any of it since a lot of the hosts ran into it near the end of Season 2. What lies in the Valley Beyond is anyone's guess. Okay, we're the ones guessing though, so here goes. We think Dolores knows of something or someone in there that offers a solution to this upcoming uprising. One or multiple hosts in there must have some memory that'll resolve the conflict peacefully. Perhaps it's even the memory of Dr. Ford that lays dormant in that hidden place. The problem is, we don't know if Bernard found the answer, and did he find it in time? The new parks. Okay, now we move into a deeper theory we have based on a few less obvious moments in the finale. Remember those rockets we talked about? Those play a big part in this entry. We're convinced those rockets viewers saw were rich people going to a fail-safe option. So answer this for us. If Charlotte worked for Insight and Insight was going to collect the human data from the Forge, then what was with the Valley launch? Everyone remembers that happening in Season 2, right? Dolores as Charlotte actually launched the Sublime host off into the distance at the end of Season 2 with Teddy inside. We see this briefcase in Season 3 that connects Bernard to the Sublime, but where did the data physically go? Perhaps it went to an Inside park. Something we don't even know about yet because it's in space. Come on, there has to be something on the moon at this point. There's no way they didn't figure out how to get a Delos destination on a different planet by this point. Space World! It fits too well, you guys. Other theories and dreams. We're definitely not the only channel out there giving you our take, but we know you come here for the best ideas out there, right? We looked at fan pages and noticed a few trends in their wishes for next season. For instance, everyone and their grandmother wants this battle between Charlotte and Caleb. There's another potential variable that we didn't even mention yet, the Man in Black. Currently, he's a host with the corrupted personality of William that is helping Charlotte amass her army. There's the issue with Season 2 though, and what we saw then. William was a host, but he was closer to his human self. Perhaps we will see the first iteration of Emily created by Halloris, and Caleb and Maeve will rescue the real William. All of that will set that storyline in motion. Fans also want to see Dolores return in some capacity, but they also want some kind of payoff in the Sublime. Many believe Bernard will confront Dr. Ford there, and maybe even release Teddy and Akacheta into the real world. Maybe they're part of the solution. Are we near the end? HBO agreed to a 6-season contract for Westworld. In other words, #6 seasons in a movie seems in the cards for this franchise. especially since the film was already made. All they need is these 3 last seasons, yet we find it impossible to plot out exactly how this series is going to end at all. Season 3 felt like an ending in its own right. Some end is happening here, and Season 4 must be picking up the pieces of that 3-season-long story. Many series have done this before, and it doesn't mean this is the critical end of Westworld. The show writers likely have plenty of surprises up their sleeves for the next 3 seasons. We may see humans contained in the parks now, so Halloras can study their nature and exploit them. That's certainly a way to keep this going for more episodes. It's not the end yet, but Season 4 is the start of the end. Did we miss your favorite theory? Tell us your favorite Westworld moment in the comments down below. Don't forget we'll be keeping up with the show and other content daily. Subscribe and like this video to keep up with everything from The Binger. We appreciate all our followers.